One drunken evening was so much like another. In those years around the dreamland's neon corner, now and out of all thought except for the distant flashing of the nipples that sometimes blinked me a moment before sleep. But I can never remember if I chugged a 48-ounce when I was 32, or chugged a 32-ounce when I was 48. All the North Beach stories stagger down to the cross-eyed, shit-faced sea, and I put in my hand and bring out whatever I can find. And I pull out my gray tweed jacket and the unextinguished joint. I was walking one night from Nob Hill down Pacific Avenue to North Beach. My destination that night was not Vesuvio, or Tosca, or the Cafe Italia, or Keystone Corner, or Frank's Extra, or Gulliver's, or the Saloon, or Mooney's Irish Pub, or Grassland, or the Lusty Lady. Honesty compels me to surreptitiously drop that name like a greasy quarter into the dead center of this Homeric list of watering holes. Or the Portofino, or Specs, or Silhouettes, or the North End, or Tony Nick's, or the Columbus Cafe, or Gino and Carlos, or the Old Spaghetti Factory, or La Bodega. No, it was, of all things, a theater. I was going to a play, one of the few times I ever imbibed anything remotely resembling high culture in North Beach. This play, a piece of British frippery called Bullshot Crummin. Some of you appear to have seen this play. My hat is off to you. Was being performed in a theater that briefly and unsuccessfully occupied Carol Doda's old strip club, the Condor. Beyond being the fake titty bar, the Condor was famous as the place where a bouncer screwing a dancer was crushed to death by a piano. This is actually true. The piano was fitted with a hydraulic lift that raised it slowly to the ceiling. Don't ask me why. After mounting the dancer atop the clavinet, the aforementioned bouncer accidentally kicked the start lever. Distracted by the throes of passion, he failed to realize that his love was literally, in the immortal words of Jackie Wilson, lifting him higher. He was crushed slowly and inexorably against the ceiling and died. Cushioned by his expiring body, the stripper survived. It was a sad, and instructive tale. And one that should have made the rogues of North Beach change their lecherous ways. Yet so sunk in vice were the beach's habitués that the only discernible effect it had on male behavior was that for months afterward, a near total aversion to the missionary position was reported throughout the neighborhood. But such grim thoughts were far from my mind as, like Toad in The Wind in the Willows, and about to meet the same humiliating fate, I went a-pleasuring gaily down the street. In my pocket was cash, in my young heart was frivolity, and in my hand was a burning joint, which I partook of freely as I strolled down Pacific. Arriving at the theater in fine spirits, I casually crushed out the joint with my fingers and placed the roach in the pocket of my gray herringbone jacket. For years, one of my favorite coats, a respectable-looking number that I had picked up from a free box in Noe Valley. With the suave demeanor of a boulevardier, I paid for my ticket and entered the theater. I looked around for a seat. The place was almost full. It was dinner theater-style seating, people jammed close together around cafe tables. I found a seat in the midst of a group of people right near the stage. The play was just starting. With the aplomb of a man of the world, I sat back and watched the action unfold. The actors cavorted. The audience laughed. A warm and intimate feeling suffused the room, a sense of debonair easiness. Then I became dimly aware of a peculiar smell. I paid it no heed. The play continued. Bulldog drove and ambled across the stage. The smell became slightly stronger. A I ignored it. Men of sophistication do not look down. I went on. The female lead made her entrance. Now the burning smell seemed to be coming up from directly below my seat. Was it some sort of special effect? An undeniable cloud of smoke was wafting in my face. I looked down. To my horror, I saw that a plume of acrid smoke was pouring out of the pocket of my gray herringbone jacket, rising into the air like an innocent campfire. The smoke was now thick, and the smell noticeable and unpleasant. Oh, the wool jacket, with just a hint of cheap weed. The people sitting around me turned and looked at the smoking coat, and then at me. I sensed confusion and disapproval, even, God help us, the beginning glimmers of a fatal knowledge.